Okay, so we look at Maisie, right? So this is the feature directorial debut from Lee Cooper. Um, Lee also produces the film along with Deborah Ashton. It's executive produced by Lisa Marie Russo. Cinematography is Sam Parsons. It's edited by Gareth Lang. Um, do, 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 do. Sam Parsons also helps with editorial. Um, effects are Daniel Grasskamp. Sound is Shane Gravestock. Music is Mona Music. Shervin Hedgesy and Alison Mancourt. Uh, and the film, well, it is starring Maisie Trollette, aka David Raven, um, Darcelle XV, aka Walter, I forget the surname. Paulo Grady is in it. I mean, at the very end. I don't know if I'd be like Paul O'Grady is in the film, but hey ho, it's a name, right? Now the gist of the film is this: after 50 long years in the business, Mr. David Raven is still shaking his sequins as a Maisie Trollette, Britain's oldest working drag artist. David's 85th birthday is fast approaching, and a special birthday performance has been arranged in UK's capital of Camp Brighton. At 87, Cole, that's it. Walter Cole is the Guinness Book of Records oldest performing drag queen in the world, and he is flying over from Portland, USA to meet David for the very first time. But professional rivalry soon flared between Britain's feisty pantomime dame and America's regal pageant queen. And as his birthday grows nearer, David must deal with the unique challenges that performing in your 80s can bring. David has recently been diagnosed with health issues, and a surprise birthday event only adds to his growing anxiety. But ever the professional, Maisie gives the performance of a lifetime as she looks back on half a century of entertaining. Hmm, hmm, I don't know. Right, then it says featuring Broadway classics such as Lady as a Tramp, One, and If I Never Sing Another Song. Maisie's hilarious, heartwarming, and often heartbreaking peek into the world of a character more colourful than his gowns. Yeah, I, I mean, I don't know, right? There's stuff in there that's a bit like there didn't really seem any rivalry or stuff between Walter and David, right? I mean, it all seemed a little forced because you know, was there really a reason for Walter to come over? You know what I mean? Uh, eh, you know, personalities and stuff. Walter doesn't drink, so when they went out, you know, for afternoon tea, David's drinking, you know, but other than that, yeah, there's not really because you know when they're performing, right? Like all the other performances, people say things, but it's not, you know, it's part of the performance. So I don't believe it didn't. You wouldn't have thought, oh. there's some heatedness between the two of them. That just seems a random thing to throw out there. You know what I mean? But hey, Lee has a statement about the film. Right, so he said, there are many amazing coming out stories committed to film, but how often do we get to see the other end of the tale? I wanted to explore what it means to be queer in our twilight years. Over the course of 3 years, I was fortunate to be granted unique access into the colourful world of both David Raven and Maisie as he prepared for his 85th birthday with all the challenges that can bring. The first cut was a very different film. The life of rather than a day in the life of. But the fashion art director in me became obsessed with the intimate detail. His use of an old Brillo pad to apply his foundation, the soiled old tights he uses as a wig cap. I soon realized that the voiceovers and anecdotes were detracting from the real story. Instead, I wanted to capture the beauty of old age, the drama that can be found in watching an old man struggle to get into a pair of glitter heels. Old age is not sexy, and the LGBTQ older community in particular don't want to talk about it. But who will look after us when we are older if we don't have children or are estranged from our families at a younger age? Hopefully, we have created a story that transcends the LGBT community and is ultimately an inspirational look at the life of a remarkable individual. So, there you go. Now, I will say, like, right, because I don't really know if we got the sense of why, right? We're looking at David and he's doing all of this. And he often says, I'm not a drag queen, I'm a drag artist. But there's no explanation of what he sees as the difference between the two. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, if okay, so you're not a drag queen. So what is different about being a drag artist? Right? We don't get that. At times I did wonder as well, is he really happy? Because god damn, these old dudes are not the nicest, right? When Walter is over with his daughter, right? And we see David with a gentleman that helps him. And yeah, they're not very nice to these people. Not very nice at all. And you kind of like, Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? You know, and these people are helping you out and you're being just shitty. Like you think they've been doing for all these years, but he's still putting his dresses in a Sainsbury's bag. You just think, look, you can get suit bags, right? You can get wig bags, right? What? Just get something. You know, why aren't you more organized? What the fuck? It was a strange piece because yeah, we get this, but we don't really see when it's like, oh, you know, we want the film to transcend the LGBT community. We don't really see him interacting with anyone else. You know, like we don't really see him with other, like to see other friends. You know, what are his interests out of performing? I don't even know, right? We do not go into that at all. We just see him with these other drag queens, like moaning and talking. You know, it's just like, what else is there? Yeah, he's like, well, when I'm out of drag, I'm David. But then he's always like, oh, men's clothes. So you're just like, oh, so do you normally wear, the drag? Like, we don't know. Like, this, like, we don't get anything really explained, right? Now, it would have been interesting to get the question of, how is it you don't update your songs, right? Because the material that Maisie sings is really old material. And so you kind of think to yourself, with the people going to the show now, will they know these songs? Right? And there's knowing the songs and enjoying the songs. That's a whole different thing. Right? So you think, okay, is there the option to add anything new? Like, why don't you add anything? Like, we don't know. Now, there, there is one part of this where we just see him leave his house, stumble down the road, and then he's in a bar, right? The Queen's Arms. And you've got the owner, I think the owner was called John, right? And so they're talking with John, and he's like, "Oh, I can." And on the wall are pictures of all these different drag queens, right? And then John's like, "Oh, I consider them all my friends." Which, yeah, like, just when people do that shit, you kind of think, do they consider you their friends though, right? Because he says that, then he's critiquing them all, right? And the shit he says about Maisie, you're just like, what? You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, last year she did this many performances here. This year, and then it's just like, I don't know if she's got any bookings. I'd have to, and it's just like, you know, right? You know if she's got bookings or not, right? Because otherwise, why even start that conversation? Why say that shit? Like, it seems like you're saying it to just be like, I think Maisie is shit, right? That's essentially what John was doing. It's great. Like, this John's just like, oh yeah, the song's not great. She can hardly do an hour. It's a struggle, right? Doing just 3 songs is a struggle. And you're just like, John, I thought you said that these peoples were your friends. What the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? And it just seemed an odd piece to leave in the film. There's, like, the fact that we aren't really getting other people talk on the acts, right? We don't get anyone really talking about any of these acts. You have the other drag performers, but no one else is like, yeah, this act is this, and these people do this, and blah, blah, blah. No, we don't get that. So it's just like, why would you leave John in there? Because John seems like he got issues. You know what I mean? It's like John don't like Maisie, and John's throwing mad shade. So yeah, that was peculiar. That was very peculiar. Um, we see a lot of half-dressed old people, which, boy, I don't know if anyone needs to see that shit. Oh my god. It's like, yo, what? I think at the very end of the documentary, right, you get all of this blurb. Like, oh, David performed with these people and blah, blah, blah. And you do kind of feel all of that could have been in the actual piece, right? And it didn't have to just be text that appears. You could have had him just talk about, like, some of this shit. So I thought that was a weird choice. You know? Yeah, it's because Lee in his statement, right? He's saying that he wanted it to be a day in the life rather the life of. But it's just like the day in the life. It was a little bit strange because we get it broken up, right? So they're going Monday 2 p.m. and it's like Saturday 6 p.m. and sometimes you're jumping in between time, right? So you show the beginning of a performance and then it's the lead up to that performance and then another bit and then more of the lead up to, but we're jumping around in times going Saturday, Friday, Tuesday, but it's not like Tuesday the 15th of, right? Because when it's just like Saturday, but Saturday when? Like it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like it was an odd choice to try and frame the film like that. Because it's just like, well, unless you're saying, because it's not like you're like, oh, we don't want to date the film. Because we know it's coming up to his 85th birthday. So the film is dated within that. So you can say the year. You know what I mean? Because if someone really wants to try and work it, you can work it out, right? So there's some odd choices. Odd choices. It's hard to really know how Lee is as a director from this. So I think we need to see more from him to try and really see the voice, right? The way he kind of structures and puts things together. Um, I would imagine, right, people that are interested with the whole drag scene, right? There was a film at Flair. So I think Make Me a King, something like that, right? I think if you enjoyed that, you would enjoy Maisie, right? There was a film in Flair a few years ago about a drag act, which again, I think if you like that, something Darling, right? Yeah, my memory's so bad, people. But yeah, I think if you enjoy a film around drag, this could be very interesting for you. But yeah, I would have liked some more information to really add the context to why is David doing this, right? Why are these other people doing this? Because some people are doing drag, but they don't have actually ladies' names. So it's just like, okay, that's an interesting choice. What's that about? We don't get it explained. Like even it would have been like to Walter Darcelle 15. Where's how did that come about? Right? Who's the 15? Is that I don't know. Is it based on something? But who knows? But it would have been good to get this sort of context. You know what I mean? But look, it is what it is. It's out there. If you want to see Maisie, boom, it's in the cinemas. It's on the iPlayer. You can check it out. You can check it out, people. Do you want a little drag in your life? Well, you could get it with Maisie.